Welcome to Just the Facts 2022 U.S. midterms. My name is Brian Barsoon. In this video, we'll be covering the Pennsylvania Senate race between Dr. Mehmet Oz and the Democrat Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman. So this is the seat that was given up by the Republican Pat Toomey. He's not seeking re-election, so there's no incumbent on this one. So I'm just going to start with Dr. Oz. This is his website here. Just take a look. Starting with the issues here, this is his vision for Pennsylvania. I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but he seeks to rebuild the middle layers of society, institutions like family and community that have been hollowed out by failed policies, narrowed thinking, and toxic culture wars. He knows that no government can substitute for the dignity of work, the security of healthcare, and the spiritual support of our family. When it turns to energy independence, Pennsylvania is one of the leaders in this regard, right behind Texas. So he wants to bring that back. He wants to have an increase in production of natural gas and coal through fracking. There's a lot of deposits in the state of Pennsylvania, and wants to build pipelines to different cities in the state so that they can increase their production throughout the state, but also can produce for the United States, which will drive down gas prices. And according to a statement here, the Biden administration has launched an attack on the energy industry, stifling domestic energy production and weakening the U.S. position in energy production. These attacks have resulted in skyrocketing gas and energy prices and made our current energy options less reliable. Dr. Oz will work to overturn these heavy-handed regulations that are hurting Pennsylvania jobs and our local communities. So that's for his energy response to the pandemic. He's a world-class heart surgeon who holds numerous patents and has written hundreds of original peer-reviewed publications. He knows the truth, the data, and science about combating the pandemic and understands how it really affects you and your family. And it goes on to say, while elites with yards tell those without yards to stay inside, where it was waiting and mask up, Dr. Oz has been putting his expertise to work on behalf of us. So he's going to take his medical expertise to apply that to the shutdowns and everything that's been going on with the children in school. So in terms of the economy, he mentions inflation, increasing price of everything from gas to groceries, and he wants to overturn that, believes that restoring America's economy begins by focusing on the problems we face here at home and reversing Biden's failed agenda. And that has to do with the energy independence and his reluctance. He wants to reduce the influence that we use Chinese products when we purchase them, try to have more American products. For Restore Our Service, has given back. He has founded Health Corp, which provides health education and mentoring to underserved communities, and has spent his life doing his part to serve his country. Dr. Oz also believes that we need to expand the role of religious institutions, nonprofits, and community groups in providing support for stronger families and neighborhoods, and wants to stop illegal immigration regarding the southern border. He believes that one of the core responsibilities of the federal government is to protect you. In order to do that, we need to have a secure border with a barrier, whether that is a physical wall or one patrolled by technological advances. He wants to fix healthcare, and that's kind of repeating on the response to the pandemic. And he'll expand access to private sector plans expanded by President Trump and beloved by seniors for their low cost and high quality that could be available to all Americans who want them. So not a lot of explanation there, but there's those thoughts there for healthcare, protection of innocent life, improved education, supporting our veterans. Just not going to go through all these because there's a lot. Getting tough on China, Second Amendment, law enforcement, Pennsylvania First, secure elections, small business, free speech, and Israel. So just covering a couple of these, getting tough on China. Believes the U.S. has failed to respond to the global Chinese threat. Every year we see more and more companies ship American jobs overseas, so he wants to bring those home and have more American jobs, which is more money for you and me. Second Amendment, which is the right to keep and bear arms. He's a proud gun owner. He's a firm believer in the Second Amendment and our constitutional right to bear arms for protection. He opposes anti-gun measures like red flag laws and liberal gun grabs. So he wants to bring back more liberty when it comes to the Second Amendment. law enforcement. Strong supporter of law enforcement and will give them a powerful voice in Washington. Believes our law enforcement has had a hard enough job on the streets and that they shouldn't have to fend off calls to defund them. So he wants to impose anti-law proposals like cashless bail that make it tougher for police to do their jobs. So not going to cover all of these, but those are some of the main policies that Dr. Oz wants to have if he's elected. Now I'll be covering the Democratic candidate, which is John Fetterman. So this is the page for the Democratic candidate, John Fetterman, who is currently the lieutenant governor in the state of Pennsylvania. It's at johnfetterman.com. So going to the issues tab here, he plans to hold Washington accountable, make more ish in America, cut taxes for working people, ban Congress from trading stocks, slash out-of-pocket healthcare costs, and immoral price gouging. So he does have several issues here, so I'll try to pick a couple of these. So some of these are pretty straightforward. Legalizing cannabis. So there's one, securing LGBTQIA plus rights, taking on crime, fighting inflation, lowering costs, promoting American energy, and protecting women's productive freedom. So he's pro-abortion in that aspect, and he's also pro the gay, lesbian, trans community. So those are those, safeguarding our democracy, delivering criminal justice reform, respect for seniors, investing in rural communities, promise to veterans. So just on a couple of these here, fighting inflation, lowering costs. So to bring down costs, we need to make our supply chains more resilient and ensure that they start and end here at home, because supply chains get a lot less complicated when we make stuff here, not overseas. So similar, wants to bring American jobs away from overseas, and back home here to the U.S. So it's time we crack down on big oil companies who are making record profits while jacking up prices for all of us. Instead of raising costs at the pump, those oil companies should be working to help drive prices down. So he wants to tax these oil companies. So instead of creation of the energy, he wants to just tax the current energy policies that are in place right now. But he says bottom line is we have to make more stuff in America and bring manufacturing and jobs back home, not just to America, but to right here in Pennsylvania. And taking on crime. Everyone has the right to feel safe in their communities, and he's actually taken on crime. It was the mayor of Braddock in Pennsylvania, chief law enforcement officer, worked with chief of police officers, community reduce violent crime. True public safety must also include ending the tragedy of mass shootings in this country. And let's see here. I'm a gun owner, and I've been around guns my whole life. I want what an overwhelming majority of Americans, including the majority of gun owners, want, which is common sense gun safety measures. So he is for gun restriction laws, as opposite of Dr. Oz, who's for more liberal laws when it comes to guns. What I mean by that is less laws. And more proactive efforts to get illegal guns off the streets. This is personal for me, and every time we delay real action, we're only counting down the hours until the next tragedy. So not going to cover all of these, but this is his website, johnfetterman.com. You can check it out. And so those are his issues. So I'm going to leave my thoughts here in the next section. But if you're just watching for the issues, I appreciate you watching, and share the video with your friends. But here's my thoughts on who I think should win this. So my thoughts on the 2022 Pennsylvania Senate race are pretty clear-cut and dry as to who the winner will be. It should be Dr. Oz, hands down. John Fetterman is just not suited. He's not fit to run right now. He had a stroke back in May, and he is not fully recovered from this, and he's having some issues with his brain. The stroke is still affecting him, and we can't have somebody in the Senate. There's only 2 Senate seats per state with that much power and not able to hold a conversation with other members of Congress. That's just pretty easy. I mean, with this important of a position, you should not be having someone who's unfit and unable to do the job. People say that about President Biden, but at least he can every once in a while form some complete sentences. This guy just cannot, and I'm going to show you some examples from the most recent debate that was about a week or so ago, and some comments he made recently for proof. So just jumping right in here, This is from the debate, and this is to show you an example as to how his brain is not working properly. And people have argued, oh, he didn't mean to say that, but I just want you to listen to this so you can hear it. This is how he opened the debate.
As lieutenant governor, you're running for a seat that could decide the balance of power in Washington. What qualifies you to be a U.S. Senator? You have 60 seconds.
Hi, good night, everybody. I'm running to serve Pennsylvania. He's running to use Pennsylvania.
So we're off to a strong start here with the debate. Hi, good night, everybody. Obviously, he meant to say good evening, everybody, but his brain just doesn't work right. So he went to good night, everybody. So I guess we should all just leave after he said that phrase. But so that's just part of the cognizance and cognition issues that he's having. And then moving later into the debate, he's talking about fracking with the energy. And this is his statement that he made. In 2018, he had made comments that he would never support fracking. Policies can change, and his position has changed, but let's see what he said about it.
I do want to clarify something. You're saying tonight that you support fracking, that you've always supported fracking, but there is that 2018 interview that you said, quote, I don't support fracking at all. So how do you square the two?
I do support fracking, and I support fracking, and I do support fracking.
I do want to...
Okay, so I support fracking, and I don't, so two negatives, and I support fracking, and then I support fracking. So 3 supports and 2 negatives, so which one is it? So I guess he does support fracking, kind of. But so it just doesn't make any sense, like your policy can change, but dude, just pick one. Just I don't get it. Like, it's all to the thing again where his brain is just not working right. And if you want to vote for somebody where their brain don't work right, then I don't know what to tell you. But this should be, if you're still not decided, this should really be the final one. So he said this yesterday. As of making this video. So this was over the weekend, a couple days leading to the election. He's obviously Roe v. Wade was overturned this year. So it now went back to the states. So now the states can decide on the issue separately. It's not on the federal level. But he's running on reinstating that at the federal level. So just listen to what he says. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if you were a Democrat and you heard this, your head would explode, or I don't even know how you would react. Just listen.
I run on Roe v. Wade. Celebrates the demise of Roe v. Wade.
What?
I run on Roe v. Wade. Celebrates the demise of Roe v. Wade. I run on Roe
v. Wade. Okay. We're good. You got us there. And
I celebrate
the demise of Roe v. Wade. Wait, what? You celebrate the demise? What are you doing? Imagine being in this audience over here and hearing that. You would just be highly confused. Like, just be like, oh, I'm against people being murdered in the street, but I like it. You would be confused if I said that. You would just be like, what is happening? So, good Lord. Like, just, if you vote for this man, I really think you don't have any brain cells in your brain. And you should just, I don't know. I'm trying to be nice about it, but you're an idiot. Like, I don't understand. He's not fit to serve, and the technology's not there for him to even serve if he wanted to. But anyway, those are my thoughts, though, on this. But if you're still watching, appreciate you taking the time out of your day to listen to this. Even if you just watch the facts part of it, that's great. But those are my thoughts, though, on the Pennsylvania Senate race for 2022. Make sure you go out there and vote on Tuesday, November 8th. It's very important to exercise your civic duty in this aspect. So one of the few things we can do to make any change in the U.S. But like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the content, and share it with your friends if they're voting, especially in Pennsylvania. If they're not familiar with the topics, just share them this video. Even if they don't watch to the end, at least they'll get the facts between the two candidates. But thanks for watching, and take care.